everybody, how y'all doing tonight? I'm back, and I'm alive, man. I had to get off a little bit earlier and had to go do some stuff, but I am here and I'm more energized and I'm ready to talk and ready to get into the everyday chaos that is our planet. So yeah, man, it's 9:03 p.m. Beautiful Dallas, Texas, March 11th, 2026, man. It's your boy Aaron. I am back. I'm better than ever, man. And, not too much to really cover today, man. Day 12 of this war, this ongoing conflict with Iran. Um, you know, Obviously, we're starting to see some oil fluctuations within the market. More tankers are getting destroyed throughout the Strait of Hormuz. And we're starting to see gas prices rising. And, I think they released 400 million barrels of stockpiled oil today. So, who the fuck knows how that's going to be on the economy? That's temporary relief and everything, but I mean, long term, that's not necessarily a viable option now, is it? I mean, only, how much stockpiled oil do we really have, guys? At the end of the day, we could only go through our reserves for so long, right? So, I mean, we got to get past this conflict sooner or later because 20% of the world's oil does flow through the Strait of Hormuz. And I think we need to produce about 100 million barrels of oil daily to meet the world's demand of oil. And right now, I believe 15 million barrels of oil are not getting through, so, we're only getting about 85 million barrels of oil through, out the whole entire global economy right now per day. And that's just not enough to meet the entire global demand. So, obviously, chaos, 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 lots going on. Um, you know, America's still pounding Iran with the attacks. Israel's pounding Lebanon and Iran with the attacks. And it's just not good, man. 1,300 people plus dead now, 20 schools, 10 hospitals. Um, I believe that those are the numbers. Um, to me, it seems like a lot more civilians and innocent women and children that are suffering at the hands of not just the regime now, but, the American government and the Israeli government. All of the Western propaganda that you're seeing of people who are taking to the streets are people here, like in America, people that are in like New York and LA. And while I'm happy for them, I'm happy that they're excited about the idea that the Ayatollah's dead, that their dictator is gone, right? But the people that are living in the city of Tehran, people that are living in Iran, do you think that they're dancing in the streets? Do you think that they're out there celebrating in the way that the people here in America or whether any other Western society are celebrating? No, not at all, man. They're still suffering bombs falling on their heads every hour on the hour. We're blowing up their infrastructure. We're blowing up schools, banks, living residential areas, blowing up fuel depots that releases so much toxins to the air that it ends up releasing acid rain onto the people. So you tell me how people are outside dancing when there's acid rain falling from the sky. When we're using Tomahawk missiles and dropping them on schools that kill 165 6 to 12-year-old girls, how the fuck is that liberation? How is that in any way, shape, form, or fashion to the people here in America, to any of the MAGA supporters, to any of the motherfucking Democrats that are in support of this war? How does that make sense? At the pure defense of terrorism, history shows that any time that America pursues a war at the behest of terrorism, that we oftentimes fuel terrorism to happen even more. Like every time that we've ever pursued a war to counteract terrorism, we incite people to go and commit more radical terrorist demonstrations. People go and they hurt people. They go and commit these attacks, these mass demonstrations, and that's why they're pumping the entire narrative right now that California might be on Iran's shit list, that they might be possibly targeted, or that domestic attacks might rise here in America because they want to pump that fear into you. They want to give you a reason to be upset. They want you to be mad at Iran. They want you to give them a reason that feels just to pursue this war because they know it's highly unpopular. It's one of the most highly unpopular wars of in the last 6, 7 decades, maybe since Vietnam. We don't want to be there. The American people don't want us there. You ran this entire campaign on the sheer fact that you were going to not take us to war, right? And what you have now done is you turned your back on your base. And yes, you're gonna have a good amount of cattle that are gonna still fucking lead the herd straight into the slaughter, but there's a good amount of people that are going to see through the bullshit and starting to question whether or not this administration is truly doing what they promised they were going to do for the people, which is obviously no. They're not pursuing any policy at the interest of the American people, and that's evident right now. So lots to be frustrated about, lots to be upset about here in America at the moment, like I said, because while we pursue this operation and pursue this regime change, we're going to spend billions, if not trillions of dollars just for the operation alone. And once we accomplish our mission, then what? Are we going to help them establish a government? Are we going to provide them with humanitarian aid? Are we going to give them the reparations they need to build back up their country? That's just more money out of the American people's pockets, right? It's just more of our tax dollars that are going to go into the infrastructure of another country that neither one of us should be paying for. There's infrastructure here that needs to be built up, infrastructure here in America that needs to be focused on, not just in Iran. Like, I'm not saying that their revolution isn't just. They need to go and fight it 100%, man, but let the Iranians go and deal with that, because here in America we got enough issues as is. We're already fighting each other. Republicans and Democrats, left versus right, we're already so fucking heated that we don't know how to talk to each other. We're fighting. And what happens when Americans stop talking? We fight. And Americans are quite literally one of the most violent of any constituents of any nation. And there is nothing more scary than when we start fighting ourselves. So we need to work on our country and work on unifying us, work on preserving the union, and not so much on pursuing, foreign affairs. Like, I do understand, the desire of America to want to secure more resources, at the behest of capital. But at the same time, we got to move away from our imperialistic tendencies and focus for once on the social structure of the entire nation and try to build up, the infrastructure and build up, just society itself. There are many countries that if we continue down this path will probably pass us as far as technological advancements go here in the next couple of years. They'll innovate far more advanced technology than we'll be able to innovate. Yeah, we might be a step ahead of the game right now in certain infrastructures, but by how many months, how many years, how much are we ahead really? Nobody tells us. And at the end of the day, they wouldn't be so scared of places like Russia and China if they weren't close, right? So, you got to ask yourself at the end of the day, like, are we really spending our money in the places that we should be spending our money? Are we putting our tax dollars places that we should be putting our tax dollars? Especially, when you're finding out that Pete Hegseth is spending $98 billion in 1 month on like food items and fucking furniture. Makes you really wonder, like, where is our tax dollars going? $10 million on fucking snow crab, $20 million on ribeye steaks and shit. $100,000 pianos and shit. Come on, man. Like, and that's just like, you know, that's not even like the start of it, right? There's much more to the inefficient ways that our government spends money, to the wasteful ways that our country spends its money. What are you doing? Oh, those are my glasses. So yeah, you just have to ask yourself at the end of the day, man, are you happy with the way that your tax dollars are currently being spent? Are you happy with the way that this administration has pursued certain endeavors, at at the sacrifice of your pockets, at the sacrifice of you. Because you need to understand at the end of the day, most of these politicians, left or right, they have investments in defense contracts. They're benefiting off of this. They're making money off of war. That's why they don't go against it. That's why they're not voting against these things in Congress. Because they know the stock prices are going up. They know that war sells, man. War is good for business. Americans, our biggest, literally our biggest export is war. It's fucking military assets, man. I mean, that's what backs the American economy. What quite literally backs the American economy and our dollar is the sheer power of our military. Putting $1 trillion into the military budget just this year alone. That's how you know that that's what we back our currency off of, is our military power, how much money is invested into our military power. So, countries fear that shit and they see that shit. No other country spends as much money as we do on our military. And you have to ask yourself, if that's the case, if we spend almost 10 times more than the next leading country in the entire world, then could we allocate some of that money towards us? Could we utilize some of those billions of dollars towards, U.S. Civilian infrastructure and help towards some social programs? Can we give us some health care, at least, help, with some, like, some subsidiaries? Can you help subsidize the payments, at least to the point where it doesn't put us in medical debt, to where it doesn't fuck us off of one literal emergency? And you have to ask yourself, like, they tell us that they don't have the money, but do they really? Do they? Are they lying to us? Obviously, they're lying to us. There's money for those programs. There's the budget for it, but they don't want to spend the money there because it doesn't benefit them. It benefits them to just increase the strength of our military. Who gives a fuck about people like me and you? Because the thing about America is, you can put one billionaire in a room. If we can put one billionaire in a stadium of 70,000 people, right? And all the other 69,999 people can be broke as fuck. They could just have a dollar. But because of the way that America works, they'll take the entirety of the stadium's wealth, that one billionaire included, and it'll be like, oh, well, this stadium right here, because let's just say the stadium is America, this stadium's worth over $1 billion collectively. So it makes it the richest stadium in the world. That's how America works. Because we have a collection of so many billionaires, almost trillionaires now. They make up for so much of the GDP, so much of our nation's wealth, that the rest of us literally don't matter. You know what I'm saying? They can say that we're the richest nation in the world because 10 people fucking make it so, and the rest of us, yeah, we get thrown in that pool, but we never fucking actually get to reap the rewards of capitalism in the way that other people do. We're going to be slave to the wage, scam for the rest of our life. The wage trap, man. You're going to sell your labor for the cheapest price that a company is willing to pay. Or the maximum price that a company is willing to pay, which is usually still, the cheapest price that they want to pay. So you have to ask yourself, like, are you really benefiting off of the system of capitalism when, you have to sell your labor for $25 an hour, $30 an hour, shit, even $50, $60, $70 an hour? Do you really feel like that's what determines your self-worth, is whether or not a company is willing to pay you such a price? And that's what capitalism has done, is it's turned our self-worth into how much money you make. People look at you and they look at your occupation and how much money you bring in, and that determines self-worth. Not are you human? Do you have empathy? Are you a good person? Because it doesn't matter if you're a good person. Good people don't fucking get rich. That's why most people that are in power and most elitists are not morally just individuals. People that are morally just don't get rich. They don't acquire wealth in the way that the Epstein class does, because you have to do grimy shit to get to that point. There's no way in hell that you are never going to walk on somebody to achieve that kind of wealth. That's capitalism for you. You have to take advantage of somebody. There has to be the working class. There always has to be somebody at the bottom in order for it to go to the top, right? Same vice versa. There has to be somebody at the top for it to come back down to the bottom. That's capitalism. And most people don't know how to escape that wage trap, right? They don't know how to escape the capitalist trap. And that's why you see things like, capitalist nations like in America, where they try to push privatized education, especially now, not just in college, but onto grade school, level education, because they want to remove the ability for every single one of us to be educated for free, or at least giving us, a decent education. So we don't think for ourselves, so we don't escape that trap, so we don't go to college, so we stay working with our hands and stay in the blue collar workforce. So they don't want to give us that opportunity. By privatizing education on a grade school level, in theory, you could essentially say that only the elitists can now pay for good education, and they'll send their kids to go learn, you know, uh, and that's where all the good teachers will go, and that's where all the colleges will source their kids from nowadays. And kids that go to public school will just be fucked getting half-ass education with some half-ass teachers, and that's what happens when you privatize the entire industry and you run these voucher programs like you do here in Texas. So, like I said, man, at the end of the day, man, capitalism isn't always like serving the best interests here in the nation, or within its foreign affairs either. It plays a dirty, grimy game everywhere, and that's why you don't see it trying to serve the interest of me and you. You don't see it helping towards social programs, or these billionaires and all these elitist individuals and corporations aren't really focused on trying to utilize that money to build up the infrastructure here, because they want to reinvest it into places like the Middle East so they can make a bigger profit margin.
Do you think capitalism could ever be socialist? Like, do you think it has the capacity to have social reform?
Yeah, I mean China literally operates a communist capitalistic party. I mean, the social structure of, or like the democratic structure of China is communist, right? But it runs on a capitalistic economic philosophy.
Right.
Because from what I was reading, Mao Zedong really introduced capitalism, but after Zedong was Deng, 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 and he basically restructured Zedong's version of communism and added theories of capitalism to it, which established, modern day China as it is today. And now you have Xi. So I don't know much about Xi Jinping, but you know, that just goes to show that it does work. And there are highly advanced cities in China. There are highly, technological cities within China. So it makes you think, like, who's doing capitalism better? America, where we have homeless in the streets and our cities look like shit, or futuristic places like China, where they have big ass cities like, Hong Kong and Shanghai, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the one that has levels to it.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah, I'm not gonna butcher the fucking language like that, but the city that has like levels and you can fucking walk on like skyscrapers and shit, and it looks like you're on ground
about.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like fucking crazy. Cars and shit operating up there. It's insane.
the conception.
Yeah, dude. That's like some cyberpunk shit, dude. But yeah, man. Uh, that's the intro going into this. I'll catch you guys next time. And so I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the news, man. We'll kind of go from there and see kind of how the day went. Trump had a little speech earlier. One of his MAGA cattle almost died. Um, he didn't really say much. Uh, so and yeah, he just kind of went on and on about the same bullshit he does every fucking week when he's making a speech. I mean, getting into this political commentary shit, I've quite literally watched Trump speak. It feels like every fucking 3 days now, and every 3 days he's saying the same bullshit. I have never heard Trump talk as much as I have had to listen to him in the last couple of fucking like weeks of trying to be an active political commentator. Like, I'm well versed on the news, everybody, but like this takes a next like another level of being in the know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be generally in the know, but this like takes like every day of your life to be. If you miss one day of the news, you're fucking done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you quite literally have to be on this shit on a daily basis, and if you're not, you'll get behind. In all of the world's endeavors. And Once you start really talking politics, you realize that politics doesn't slow down. It doesn't sleep. It goes every second of the day, man. It does not stop for nothing. It doesn't stop because you want to go to bed. It doesn't stop for nothing. Geopolitics and geoeconomics is a never ending beast. It is a machine. Quite literally a machine. And you can't stop that machine. No matter what you want, no matter how you think, no matter how much you live in your bubble, blah, 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 it is a never ending beast. And when you wake up, it's like you have to turn it on. When you go to bed, you have to know that the second, like I said, you have to dream about that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't lose it, bro. You have to be on this, man. But that being said, let's go ahead and move into some news, man. We got this wrap up of the day.
Streaming with us on war with Iran. There
Let's
is
see.
global concern as multiple cargo ships come under attack in the Strait of Hormuz. And tonight, a new alarming threat about Iran here at home. A Thai cargo ship was among the vessels attacked today. Authorities rescued 20 crew members. 3 are still missing. Iran is claiming responsibility for striking at least 2 ships. Meanwhile, the U.S. Central Command says it took out more than a dozen mine-laying.
Man, see, this war doesn't just affect people like within the region, bro. It affects the global like economy, dude. I mean, we got Thai ships getting blown up. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz is the only access point for Eastern oil, like for the oil to get to the eastern part of the world, to like Asia, right? I mean, there's still a way for you to get the oil maybe to like the eastern, I mean, to the European market, but trying to get it to the Asian market is going to be very difficult without the strait being opened. And right now it's virtually closed unless Iran says that you can go through. And there are some people that are able to get through, some vessels, some Iranian vessels, some Chinese vessels. But everybody else is under the sheer mercy of the Iranian government or the U.S. government, whoever is in this fucking Gulf right now causing whatever fucking is going on.
Vessels. President Trump tonight decided that is urging oil companies to push through the strait late today.
Yeah, and then you literally got Trump telling all of the oil companies to just push your tankers through, everybody. Push your tankers through. Doesn't matter. Fuck what Iran is saying. Doesn't matter if the government is threatening anybody. Just send them through. And then what did that result in? It literally resulted in one of our tankers blowing the fuck up tonight.
Iran said that the world should get ready for $200 a barrel oil.
$200 a fucking barrel is wild. We're already sitting at like $87 at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Almost $90 a fucking gallon, I mean, a fucking barrel. And Iran is over here threatening $200 per barrel. Do you realize what kind of fucking prices we would be paying if that is the fucking case, guys? Like, seriously. This war is not good for anybody. It's not good for the citizens of Iran, and it's not good for the citizens here in America. It doesn't help anybody.
About the location of Iran's new supreme leader, who is yet to be seen in public.
Really,
it's believed he was injured in the same
the elitists, the capitalists, the capitalists gain from this. If we gain control of the region, if they complete their operation, because at the end of the day, the operation that they're trying to achieve is just eliminating a administration regime, whatever you want to call it, that's too difficult to negotiate with. If they could just get somebody in there that's easier to negotiate with, that allows like an entry for American capital into that region, then everything will be dandy, everything will be fine. The elitists will be happy because at the end of the day, it'll allow for American oil investment to get in there the way that it's been wanting to get in there for so many fucking years. Able to control the entire Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz is an incredibly powerful thing to be able to control. If the U.S. has control of the Strait of Hormuz and has buddies on Saudi Arabia's side of the strait and on Iran's side of the strait, then we are virtually like, we'll never have to worry about oil again. That's what it is. At the end of the day, he's trying to secure the United States oil supply. And yes, I guess in theory, if we did have control of both sides and they were both cutting a break to the U.S., then we would definitely be, good over here in America. We would definitely have low oil prices. We saw that at the second that he signed the deal with the Saudi Arabians.
Right.
Let's be real. When he signed the deal with the Saudis last year, oil went down, and we were paying. Look here in Texas, prices are low. They're still kind of low compared to the rest of the country. I've seen in California like $6-7 gas right now. We're sitting in the threes. That's because we live in the South though. and we live where the refineries are here in America. So we get a little bit more of a deal because as one of the big three of the oil producers of the world, then, yeah, when you're in the state that produces the oil, you're going to get a little bit of that. You're going to get a little bit of those tax incentives, right? Or a little bit of those breaks. Like in Alaska, I don't think they probably pay a lot in gas either. Alaska produces a decent amount of oil.
Right. Because it's their export.
Right. And American oil is pretty good. It's not Iranian oil or Iraqi oil. Their oil, like I said, it looks like apple juice. It's like that color. It almost looks like motor oil. Our oil it's not black, but it's not that either. It's just browner. It looks more like maple syrup. American oil is like maple syrup. Venezuelan oil is tar. It's just basically tar. So the refinement for it, like I said, costs a lot of money. To get that clean, I mean, it takes a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Versus here, we pump up ours, it's kind of brown, and then they refine it at the refineries all along the coast, and they make it that golden color, and then they ship it to whoever, blah, blah, blah. But that's why they call it crude oil, because it's the most crude type of raw oil you can get.
Crude biomass.
So yes, exactly. So yeah, they sit on the biggest deposit in the world, but it's not the best oil in the world. It's like a last resort. Like, if we have to, it's like smoking the resin. At the end of smoking the weed, It's like, fuck, this is all we got left. I guess I'll smoke this shit down. I guess. But, yeah, man. The elitists will definitely benefit from the end of this if we get our way with the war.
An end goal? Like what? Are we trying to turn that region
End goal with like
a
regime
Puerto Rico?
change. Like a what?
Are we trying to turn that region into like our new Puerto Rico?
No. Puerto Rico is like a territory. We don't want to territory. That's not what we're trying to do at all. We just want to put somebody there that's going to play ball with us. We want to put the prince there. Somebody that's kissed the Western Wall. That'll bow down to his Zionist leaders. That's all that Israel wants is a Zionist, like somebody who will bow down to Zionism in the Middle East. If they don't have to go and annex, the Middle East themselves, then they don't want to. You know what I'm saying? That's why they want to put the prince in power so he answers to the Israeli government.
Why do you think that we're like obsessed with kissing the Israeli ring?
Bro, I don't know what the fuck people want to kiss the fucking ring for. I don't know, man. I don't know why we're so so loyal to them, and I don't know why America can't just tell these motherfuckers. Well, America can. America has told these motherfuckers no time and time again. It's fucking Trump. Trump and Netanyahu quite literally see eye to eye on a lot of issues. So that's why Netanyahu has been able to get his way a lot more with Trump versus people like Biden or Obama or even Bush. Netanyahu despised Clinton. They didn't like each other. Bush, there was a little bit of leeway there. They had a better relationship because Netanyahu's been prime minister 18 years. He came into power in 96. Ever since in that 30-year period, he's been prime minister 18 years of it. So he's been with every president. I want to say he's touched every president. He has touched every president 100%.
In what way?
You know what way. Big BB, he be doing. Shit. But yeah, he did not like Obama because Obama did the nuclear deal with Iran. And then the second that Trump got into power, he was able to convince Trump to overturn the nuclear deal, the Iranian nuclear deal.
Right, that gave them nuclear weapons.
Exactly. He was also able to get Trump to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel almost immediately. And they moved the United States Embassy to Jerusalem. There was a couple of other things that he was able to do. Also, Netanyahu is deep in the pockets of a lot of Republican congressional candidates here and politicians. Not just candidates, politicians that are actively in Congress. So, yeah, I don't know why. It's years and years of infiltration. Maybe because they knew that America being the most powerful nation in the world, if they could convince them to do their bidding, then they could go and do whatever they wanted.
But what interests do we have?
They're the
that's what I'm saying.
What interest we have back in the day, our interest was because it was the only democratic institution within the Middle East. So preserving a friend there was highly important.
Right.
It served strategic interest. But now, today, even I would say as far as the 90s, we haven't really needed Israel as much of a companion as we did before. because we don't need just a democratic like friend, an ally there anymore. We got like people like Saudi Arabia, we got Oman, we got Kuwait. You know what I'm saying? We have made friends that are far more important as far as the uh economical like trade system goes than Israel. We only trade $10 billion worth of assets with them a fucking year. You know what I'm saying? Versus like South Korea, we're in the hundreds of billions. So, you know, that should kind of show for it right there. Back in the day, it was a strategic interest within the Persian Gulf, but nowadays it's not. We could put our bases in Israel. You know what I'm saying? We could go do what we need to go do. We could have surveillance of the Middle East within the Middle East itself without having to occupy other areas. But now we have bases in Oman. We have one or two. We had bases in Kuwait. We have bases in the UAE. We have bases in Saudi Arabia. We have bases in Iraq. I'm pretty sure we have bases surrounding Iran. We have bases like all throughout the Middle East. I mean, you can. What? Oh. I mean, my thing right here, my little world tracker, whatever the fuck it's called, it shows where all the bases are in that region. Everybody, this is Aaron Arispe, and welcome to the War Room. Stupid!
Stupid.
I mean, yeah, you can see, here's all the bases right here. You can see all these triangles are bases.
Are the red ones attacked?
Iran is the one that's this?
Oh, because like some are red.
Where? Right here?
Yeah.
That's airstrikes. So
Like,
right.
those are ones that have been airstrikes?
Yeah, it's a U.S. airstrike on residential area in Lamerd Forest Providence 17 minutes ago. So this one this app tracks
Live.
the live updates of what's going on around the world. I'll fuck with this app, man.
Oh my god, it's boys.
Hello, everybody. It's Aaron Arispe. Welcome to the War Room. Tonight, day 12, war in Iran. Is it just, or are we the true terrorists? Ask yourself this, friends. Do you feel as if a tiny nation in the sands of the Eastern Plains has the ability to take on the United States government? Do you really feel that the USA should be fearful of Iran? Dumbass. Stupid! Nah, bro. But yeah, man. Yeah. The UAE Ministry of Defense announces blah, blah, blah. All right, yeah, let's get back into this update.
Its proxies, its relationship with criminal organizations. Iran has the expertise, the personnel, the access to equipment to conduct a drone attack here in the United States. Now it has the...
What up, chat? Drop a comment. Say what's up to your boy.
Today, President Trump said he is unconcerned about
Sound like
an
a late
Iranian
night
strike
DJ.
on the United States.
Stupid.
Are you worried, sir, about a domestic terror attack?
Yeah.
Who was that?
I don't know.
There's a little moan there at the end.
Did I?
Yeah, you're
I don't know.
Saudi Arabia and buildings in Bahrain, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. And the Michigan-based medical equipment company Stryker says it was hit by a cyber attack, and there are indications a pro-Iran hacking group may be behind it.
Aaron Katersky joins us now. So, Aaron, did the alert say anything about where or when these attacks could happen?
It did not, Lindsay. There was no information about Iran's aspirational targeting or timing or even who might help Iran carry this out if, in fact, they have the capability to do it. But tonight, we heard from the office of California Governor Gavin Newsom. They said they are actively working to protect all California communities. Lindsay?
Aaron Katersky for us. Aaron, thank you. 20% of the world's oil is being prevented from passing through.
Live and alive, baby. We're live and alive.
3 vessels were attacked, causing one of those ships to go up in flames. Here's our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell.
Tonight, with 20% of the world's oil being prevented from passing through this vital waterway, 3 vessels attacked in the critical Strait of Hormuz.
20% of the world's oil, man. I told you, we want to control 20% of the world's oil. 1/5 of the entire planet's oil reserves, man, pass through this area.
Meanwhile, A foreign oil tanker was ablaze in the port of Qasr near Basra in southern Iraq. A security source saying the vessel sustained significant damage. It's not yet known what the cause was. And tonight, Iranian drones also striking Oman's largest oil facility, setting off massive explosions in videos circulating online. All of this adding to huge global volatility in oil markets and gas prices.
Like 325, baby. 325.
President Trump, aware Americans remain focused on prices at home and gas prices at the pump, today repeatedly calling the war in Iran an excursion, and explained the growing concerns
An excursion.
over gas prices this way.
We had to take an excursion, but it's doing well. The market's holding up well.
It's not a fucking excursion, dude. This isn't a vacation. These are fucking lives daily that are being lost. American, Iranian, UAE, people of Oman, people of Lebanon, people of Israel, dare I say. Everybody. There's innocents dying all over the place, man. This war should not be happening. We could have pursued this differently.
Be back on track in a pretty short while. Prices are coming down.
Or maybe I'm being ignorant to the geopolitical aspect of the world and don't understand nothing.
It's just a matter of war that happens.
Fox News.
I think it's 1300.
Is this an excursion or is it a war?
It says right here that Iran claims 2 strikes on ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says national football team will not attend World Cup. At least 634 people killed in Lebanon amid Israeli strikes. And that's, I think, on top of the 1,300 people that are dead in Iran.
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. I mean, for them it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought.
Right.
Tonight, the retaliation from Iran on those ships and oil fields seen as a major escalation. It comes just hours after the US struck at least 16 boats capable of laying sea mines in that all-important Strait of Hormuz.
I don't think that Iran would put the mines in the water, bro. They still got to have people that they got passing through the fucking waterways,
Iran
man.
tonight, now warning the world to get ready for oil prices to skyrocket to $200 per barrel. President Trump late today suggesting he'll tap the strategic oil reserves.
Well, reduce it a little bit, and that brings the prices down.
Earlier, the president was pressed if he'd still encourage oil companies to pass through the dangerous Strait of Hormuz, after saying 24 hours ago the crews on those oil tankers should have the guts to do it.
I think they should use. My opinion, look, we took out just about all of their mine ships in one night.
Tonight, thousands taking to the streets of Tehran for the funerals of top Iranian regime leaders, many chanting "Death to America." And tonight, new questions about the whereabouts of a new supreme leader, the son of the late Ayatollah who was killed. An Iranian official saying Mujtaba Khamenei was injured during a strike. He hasn't been seen publicly since he was named as the new leader, reportedly recovering from leg injuries in a secure location. And tonight, the New York Times reporting a preliminary investigation has determined the US military was responsible for that deadly strike on a girls' school in southern Iran. 168 people were killed, mostly children.
168 kids, man.
State TV airing this video, appearing to show a US-made Tomahawk missile slamming into a building next to the school. The president's claimed it was Iran that hit the school.
We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever.
Lying through his motherfucking teeth, bro. Lying through his fucking
The president
teeth.
saying he knows nothing about these reported preliminary findings.
A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know nothing about it. Fucking liar, bro. He just doesn't want to admit that we kill children. They want to make it seem like we're there to free women and children, but we're fucking there killing children, bro. Make it make motherfucking sense, dude. Seriously. Make it make fucking sense. Because right now, bro, the math ain't mathing, brother. The math is not mathing.
Striking areas known to be strongholds of the Iranian
Man.
Hezbollah. And even as all of this plays out, including the Iranian attacks on those ships in the Strait of Hormuz, the president tonight in Kentucky claiming victory.
And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over.
Ian, thank you. Tensions are rapidly escalating along Israel's northern border tonight with heavy fire exchange between Hezbollah and the Israeli Defense Forces. The violence is fueling a growing humanitarian crisis with hundreds of thousands forced from their homes. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Beirut with the latest. Hi, Matt.
Lindsay, this has been a very intense night of fire being traded back and forth between Hezbollah and the Israeli military. It started earlier this evening when Hezbollah announced a new operation against Israel, and they subsequently launched dozens of rockets south into Israel, targeting Israeli towns and targets.
Yeah, sometimes the most beautiful people in culture suffer the ambition of pigs. It's not the leaders of the places that suffer, it's the people who have to say, the innocent children, people just like you and me here in the US. 100%. It's always the lives of the innocent that suffer at the behest of military intervention. It's always, every single war, I mean, the numbers are always in the millions due to the fact that it's civilians, you know, women, children, and elderly people that make up for the majority of those numbers. It's not always fighting personnel. I mean, even World War II, the numbers were so substantial because it was deaths of the civilians and the innocent that were surrounding in the region. 100%. 100% they need to. That's a required reading. They need to realize that at the end of the day, the people that live in countries don't represent the elite individuals who run the countries.
Of course, the Hezbollah stronghold here in this city, but also airstrikes in the southern part of the country with new evacuation warnings being sent out by the Israeli military saying that they expect to ramp up with intensity their military action across the country tonight. As a result of all of that and the conflict over the last few days, we have seen a staggering number of internally displaced people, so-called IDPs, flood the streets here in Beirut, filling up shelters. Public schools here that we saw firsthand today have really been turned into shelters. The schools have closed.
600,000 people have been displaced in Lebanon, dude. 600 to 800,000. No homes. Like, that's what this war has done to people. People have to leave their homes, pack everything up, and literally leave when they may have nothing. Like, bro, if I was to have to pack up everything that I have right now and dip, I wouldn't know where to go and I wouldn't know what to do. I don't have a fucking penny to pinch. I wouldn't know how to fucking even get by. Like, quite literally, I could not put myself in these people's shoes. And my heart aches for the people of throughout the Middle East right now. All of the innocent people who are just trying to live their lives, that are not, you know, even involved with the regime or our administration. People that are just trying to live, that suffer and die and deal with death and destruction and hellfire on a daily basis due to the fact that some egotistical, narcissistic, patriarchal pics can't get it together.
Shelters, 120,000 people in those shelters alone, and some estimates put the overall number of displaced people here in Lebanon up to 1 million people. That is a staggering figure when you consider that the population of this country is only about 5.5, 6 million people, and this conflict really only set to widen in the days ahead. Lindsay?
Our thanks to Matt. Humanitarian
What up, chat? What up, chat? What up, chat?
The war's potential impact on more than 1 million children. Save the Children president and CEO spoke with our fellow ABC News Live anchor Diane Macedo about it.
So what are you hearing from these displaced families in Lebanon?
Well, it's absolute chaos, right, Diane? I mean, wars are always fought against children. That's essentially what it comes down to, and we see that here as well. Over 700,000 people displaced. More than a third of those are children. And what we see, my colleagues, we're responding in Lebanon where we can. Some of my colleagues met this family with this little boy who, you know, was holding on to his pet bird because it gave them a sense of normalcy and routine as long as the bird was still with them. And the family is trying desperately in their displacement to hold on to things that give their children a little bit of a sense.
These poor kids are just trying to hold on to something, just cling to anything that they have that makes them feel comfortable, that makes them feel like they're still kids. That's what these fucking poor children are having to suffer through right now. The displacement of 760,000 people because of Israel and this stupid fucking war that we wanted to pursue with them. Come on, man. These aren't even people of Iran, bro.
Did you look up what the Israel youth are doing right now?
Pakistan, Yemen, and Afghanistan, of course.
Probably should get the, you can send a link into the chat if you want to.
Iran,
oh, I sent the link.
are now, I think, going to be.
No, I don't want to go type.
So we'll see multiple.
What up, chat? What up, chat?
Already been on the move for quite a while.
Say what's up, man. Show some love. It's your boy Aaron, bro. We over here discussing the world, bro, and the issues that are currently here and causing our planet to be engulfed in chaos.
That we had the ability to mobilize resources and people immediately, and we're now come out with a larger appeal to make sure that we can actually.
This just doesn't feel like liberation, bro. It feels like an excuse for Israel to be able to attack the people they've been wanting to attack for fucking years now, man. I mean, they took this as an excuse to fucking go and just start bombing the shit out of Lebanon. Like, I don't even think that they're targeting, like, just military personnel areas. They're quite literally targeting fucking communities, dude. They're bombing fucking residential areas. They're blowing up hospitals. They're blowing up schools. Like, how is this justified in anybody's eyes? I don't understand how people can be like, I stand with the United States and I stand with Israel.
2 to 3 million people that we're aiming to reach across those countries.
When you have evacuation orders like those issued in
I agree with the Israeli ambition and desire for the greater United States of Israel.
What government help are you getting with that?
It's tricky, right? And it changes constantly, which is why that flexibility that we have with some of our funding is so important, because you think you're going to respond to people who are displaced over here, and then it turns out there's evacuation orders or there's more shelling coming, and then they have to go somewhere else, right? Or the streams of displaced people or refugees could even change overnight, right? To different countries, to different border crossings, as we see. So we're on the border with Syria. We're on all these.
Man, ain't anybody in here tonight.
Trying to assess is
At
constantly.
night, I think Wednesdays are usually
can we
like
respond here? For how long? What are the exact needs? We have presence in all those countries for a long, long time, so we are very well rooted in those local communities, often where the displacement happens or where they're from. So that helps us understand where people are going and what they really need.
How much time do you have to put these things together, from when a warning first comes down and when you actually have to have everybody out?
Sometimes hours, very little.
Wow.
I mean, we do preparedness. We were prepared for an increase in this conflict for months now. Where I don't think we saw it happening this quickly and to this intensity. So we did have prepared stocks ready to go. We had prepared protocols in place. We had people ready to surge in.
But then you need to make it happen.
But then you need to make it happen in hours.
Fire away.
So,
Thank you, guys.
something about Iran.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'm wondering, you've raised yourself a lot of concerns about affordability and the like, for many, many months now, and we're seeing rising gas prices. It's unclear how long this is going to last. What is the level of concern you're hearing from your constituents about affordability, gas prices, and the duration of this war?
Well, I don't know that all those things necessarily go together. I mean, just on maybe I'll start with Iran. Just on Iran, as I was saying, and as the president's been saying. I mean, first of all, the military, the victory that the military has won is incredible. I mean, the military prowess is unbelievable. And I just think, I mean, if the goal is to safeguard us from Iran's nukes, I mean, I think we've pretty clearly done that. Our military has done that. We've completely destroyed their nuclear program between what the president did last June and the last 12 days.
So declare victory now?
Well, I mean, the president said on Monday night...
Yeah, they're still not going to declare victory. Because it's not a victory yet, guys. There's still no overwhelming evidence that they have won, that we've done anything effective. Like, we have not toppled the regime. We have not defeated all of its leaders. The regime is still running very powerful in the fucking streets of Iran. Like, we have not done anything. We have not liberated the people. We can say that we destroyed all of the nuclear fucking programs all that we want. We don't know that. They can say that they destroyed the Iranian Navy all they want, but we don't know that. Every single video that we've seen has been known that there was nobody on the motherfucking ships. So they're just getting a bunch of decoys from what it feels like, in my opinion.
Thanking our heroes and saying,
They're not giving us any overwhelming evidence that we're being successful in this endeavor at the moment. What happened to all of the fucking hoorah, badass motherfucking videos from the beginning that they were trying to show us? Now I'm just fucking getting videos on my feed that are nothing but buildings being fucking destroyed by American and Israeli bombs, and people fucking crying because their loved ones were crushed to death. Little kids, I've seen literally little children crushed to death being pulled out of the rubble. I don't know what kind of Western propaganda you motherfuckers are watching and everything, but you need to fucking leave your Western propaganda bubble and start watching some foreign fucking news, and actually get in touch. Is that playing out loud? I think it's probably catching it double. Y'all need to get in touch with the rest of the world and how it's actually operating and functioning at the moment, because every single one of y'all all get your news from YouTube, X, or Fox, and right there, that just shows the flaw in your reasoning, is because they're not gonna fucking show you what's really happening over there. They're not gonna show you the death and destruction and the lives that are lost. They're just gonna make it seem like, oh yeah, we're liberating the people, but maybe a couple of people that will die. I mean, but not too many. We're not doing too much. I literally had somebody in my comments yesterday tell me that, well, isn't the civilian casualties very low on the American and Israeli side? I'm sorry, but 1,300 people is still about not a lot of people to you. That's a lot of fucking lives. I don't know about you, man, but 1,300 lives could still be alive today if we didn't pursue this endeavor the way that we fucking pursued it. If we weren't dropping fucking tomahawk bombs on innocent women and children. We weren't destroying fuel depots that lead to acid fucking rain. We're playing chemical warfare right now with this city, bro. We fucking blew up a fuel depot that looked like a goddamn nuclear bomb was detonated, and we don't think about the fucking environmental repercussions or the health repercussions of the people that live there. I mean, dude, it's 15 to 16 million people that live in the city and the surrounding area of Tehran. You're telling me that you don't fucking think about them? You don't think about the people who are affected by the bombs that we drop on them? Do y'all never think about the other side who are affected by American military interventionism? All of the lives that have been lost in Iraq, all of the lives that were lost in Syria, all of the lives that were lost in Afghanistan, all of the lives that were lost in Libya. Do you people not give two fucks about anybody other than yourselves? All y'all truly ever care about are the loss of American lives. I'm advocating for the lives of civilians, innocent people who have nothing to fucking do with this.
And Congress could do something about that. For one thing, we could suspend the gas tax, which is like 20 cents a gallon. I mean, that's half of the increase right there. We can try and speed up permitting. We can try and get new refineries online. I mean, we can try and use other means to bring down the cost right now, and we should. I mean, Congress is in this bad habit of just spectating, watching events unfold.
It is dead tonight, though.
Do something. And
I haven't got anybody in here tonight.
Where a lot of the
it says I have 2 viewers, but
I think that maybe we should say to China, who's an ally of Iran.
I haven't had much traffic of it influxing up to like 5, 6, 7. It's been, yeah, or even like earlier.
Well, maybe they'd like to open it straight before we sit down.
Did you see what I mean? How the difference between this stream and the one that I did earlier? Just because the energy was a lot different. Because I was more energized. And I ate. Now. Compared to earlier. Like the way that I'm talking now is a lot.
I think you should probably
we need to pass legislation that would cap the cost of prescription drugs.
During the day,
if you don't,
I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, instead of waiting to the end of the day and going on a stream for 2-3 hours and still not eating.
We did a lot last year, but there's more to do.
Yo, chat, what up, what up, what up?
I lost count of proposals he rolled out there for working people. If Congress were to enact a third of those, it would be.
Let's get.
That's what we should be doing. Congress should be focused on implementing a working class agenda, and we can start with prescription drugs. I mean, they're just outrageously expensive.
Boring as fuck. Fuck this representative.
Thank you all for being here. One thing is clear today. We're about to take back Texas.
Texas State Representative James Tallarico celebrated his victory in the state's Democratic Senate primary last week. He defeated Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett in a race that captured national attention. Now, he's looking forward to a general election where he will face the winner of a Republican runoff between incumbent Senator John
And he's
Cornyn
gonna win.
and Paxton. James Talarico joins us here for his first interview since his victory. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you all for having me.
So it seems as if we've been hearing about Texas turning blue for years. I'm old enough to remember a governor who still looms very large in the state of Texas, Ann Richards. Explain to us what the strategy is in terms of how the congressional makeup of Texas means that it's been red for the last couple of years and how you hope to turn it blue.
Well, my faith teaches me to love my neighbor as myself, not just my neighbor who looks like me or prays like me or votes like me. And that's because despite our differences, we all want the same things: a safe neighborhood, a good job with good benefits, a high quality, well-funded public school, and the ability to see a doctor when we need one. And so I'm tired of being pitted against my neighbor. I'm tired of being told to hate my neighbor. And I think in Texas, across the political spectrum, there is a deep hunger for a different kind of politics, not one that's rooted in fear or hate or division, but one that's rooted in love. And that old politics that we've been suffering under for the last 10 years, politics as blood sport, as trolling and owning, as total war, that politics is dying and a new politics is being born. You saw it in this last primary, the number of young people, the number of first-time voters, the number of independents and Republicans who showed up to vote in this Democratic primary is unprecedented. So there is something happening in Texas. We're building a movement to take on this broken, corrupt political system on behalf of all people in our state.
You mentioned politics is a blood sport. The combatant-in-chief has yet to weigh in, but he is expected to weigh in on the Republican runoff race. How do you think that will impact the race?
Well, no matter
Talking about Donald Trump, of course.
Yeah. No matter what happens in this Republican runoff, we already know who we're running against. It's the billionaire mega donors and their
100%.
system. You're seeing it already.
Taking on corruption at the end of the day, man. You're just taking on corruption. Don't matter if it's Cornyn, don't matter if it's Paxton. At the end of the day, we're just taking on the corporate billionaires and all of the PACs. That's what we're doing. And you got a lot of motherfucking cattle that are like, I am not voting for James Talarico. That dude is not genuine. And I have been saying it over and over again that the people who say that Talarico is not genuine are the same people that think that Trump is.
Who run so much of the politics in our state and our country, they try to divide us. They divide us on an hourly basis by party, by race, by gender, by religion. So we don't notice that they are picking our pockets, that they are closing our schools in Texas. They're gutting our health care. They're raising taxes on working people while they cut taxes for themselves. So it's the oldest strategy in the world, divide and conquer. And what we're trying to do in Texas is bring working people together across all those divides so that we can take power away from those at the very top and bring it back into our communities.
So, Representative, going into this race, it was really unclear who was going to win. What does your win signal, you think, about what Democrats in Texas, what voters want?
Well, I think people, again, not just Democrats, but independents and Republicans too, they're really sick of this politics that we've had for the last 2 years.
100%.
It tears.
It's been 10 years of chaos, man, and division, dude. 10 years of like horrible and divisive rhetoric.
It was about you in particular that appealed to so many.
I think it's the movement that we're building. The fact that the first words out of my mouth on the campaign trail was that the real fight in this country is not left versus right, it's top versus bottom. And so we're trying to bring working people across partisan, racial, cultural, religious divides so that we can take power back for ourselves, that we can focus on education and healthcare and an economy where we can actually get ahead and live the American dream. I think that's what people are really hungry for in Texas and across the country.
Let's talk about the war in Iran. What are you hearing from your constituents in Texas about how they feel about this war that's happening right now?
Well, as a millennial, I saw how military disasters like the Iraq War robbed this nation of young lives, of billions of dollars, of our moral standing in the world. And I worry that our current leaders are repeating those same mistakes. I was in Sand Branch, Texas, which is a community south of Dallas that doesn't have running water. It doesn't have basic sewer infrastructure. So every dollar we spend bombing people in the Middle East is a dollar we're not spending in Sand Branch, Texas, or in our communities here at home. We're always told that we don't have enough money for schools or for healthcare or for our veterans, but there's always enough money to bomb people on the other side of the world.
100%.
And so we can support the democracy movement in Iran. We can prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, all without bombing innocent school children or sending our American troops off to die on the other side of the world.
Representative, but are the leaders in your party, specifically Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, bringing that message home to the Republicans, to the president?
I don't know. All I know is what's happening in Texas, and people across the political spectrum are deeply worried about another forever war in the Middle East, and especially young people who are seeing not only gas prices rise, but they're seeing this affordability crisis that continues to go unaddressed by our leaders in Washington. And so I think a lot of us are mystified that we're starting another forever war instead of focusing on lowering costs for working people.
All right, Representative James Tallarico, thank you very much for joining us. Really great to have you. Appreciate it.
And this is the guy, man, that Republicans are trying so hard to fucking to run a entire smear campaign on. Let's see, House Republicans. Yeah, I could probably go to their page and first thing that these fuckers posted today. Let's see. They made this AI video that I wanted to put on to the stream. Yeah, here it is.
Of James Tallarico's most memorable tweets.
Look at this.
Oh, I remember this one.
This is AI
Radicalized
Goldschlop
white
right
men
here,
Are
bro.
the greatest domestic terrorist threat in our country.
White man.
So true. So true. Oh, I love this one too. The Texas Capitol can be a hostile environment for our trans neighbors. Our office is the first in the history of the Capitol to add pronouns to our official business cards. It's a small way to tell trans Texans, you are welcome here.
Chill.
Oh, this one is
so
touching.
creepy.
I
It's
know.
Over. Christians
dead.
They
use
look
scripture to
weird as
justify
shit, dude. I was like, this is
bullying
not
trans
Tallarico,
I
bro.
told them in my faith, God is non-binary.
I fucking hate AI.
Sounds so creepily too.
Because they're trying to push this agenda that he's a fucking like trans pedophile kid lover.
I was exposed to diversity
It fits
at a
it.
young age and explicitly taught the values of equality, inclusion.
This should be like a
and
defamation
justice.
lawsuit.
But not every young white boy.
Like I didn't
is
give you
so
the
lucky.
right to utilize my image to create these types of fucking like
Oh, and
videos.
just relax.
Matthew McConaughey
This video
trademarked
brings
himself
back
now
memories of being the only teenage boy
'Cause they're
at
having
Planned
to
Parenthood's
protect
March
their-
for
their
Women's
image now
Lives in
because of stuff
2004.
like this.
And that
You have to get
concludes our
yourself
dramatic reading
as
of
your
James
brand,
Tallarico's most memorable.
your identity trademarked now. Isn't that crazy?
That's ridiculous, dude. Ay, man. The pure fucking Goyslop. But yeah, man. With that being said, tonight's been kind of a slow night. I still got some studying to do for a test tomorrow. I got some.
Shit, yeah, you do.
Yeah, so I can't be online too much longer, especially to a dead audience that's not talking tonight. So, yeah, man, it was cool hanging out with everybody tonight, man. I appreciate y'all chilling for whoever was in here, you know. Thanks for listening to me rant. I'll try to get online tomorrow if I have some free time. Try to get online here and do another episode. I don't know, honestly, if I'll be able to. I got a whole fucking nether test on Friday for programming, so it might be until Friday when I do my next episode. We'll see. But until then, man, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll see you guys next time.